21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
I've been working for so long that I think my only focus was how to get my businesses to succeed. But recently, I've been able to make them not just succeed, not just give me millions and millions of dollars, but run on their own so that I can go do the things I've always wanted to do. My name is Vanessa Joy. I am a creative content creator. I do YouTube. I'm a photographer, all the fun things. But at the core of it, I'm a mom of two. And I have a little dog named Zoe, and somehow I am still the breadwinner in my family, making businesses run left and right. I first picked up a camera when I was, probably 5 years old. You have that photo of you with the camera. I think every photographer probably does. I didn't know how to use it for a long time. And actually, I rebelled against photography for a very long time because my mother was a photographer and I was a rebellious child. So I didn't really like photography. But one day, sitting in the guidance counselor's office in high school, he asked me what elective I wanted. My mother was sitting next to me. And as much as I am a rebel, I'm also a people pleaser. Lots of faults here. I can't wait to tell you how my impatience has led to pretty much all of my success. But sitting next to my mom, I thought, you know what? Let me just take photography. Let me make mom happy today. And I didn't know it at the time, but that would change my entire life. Not just because I fell in love with black and white photography in the darkroom, not just because I would cut class and get in trouble because you couldn't drag me out of that darkroom, but the man that taught me photography in high school, I ended up working with him for 5 years. And that's where I learned how to run a business, how to work with clients, how to have a workflow that not only makes your clients happy, keeps things on track, but allows you to have a life as well. Those 5 years working for him were the foundation to, five businesses I run at this point. And it was absolutely transformative, all because I was a people pleaser and just felt like making my mom happy that day. Growing up, my family always had adopted kids. You know, when you have a kid that you adopt in Ethiopia or Kenya or around the world. So my whole life, it was, okay, you have these like adopted kids and you put them on the fridge. And every Christmas, we would look through like the holiday catalog and you would buy them goats and chickens. And I remember looking and I saw the most expensive thing there, which was building a well. And it was $15,000, or at least now it's still $15,000. And I always thought to myself, like, one day I'm going to have enough money to do that. One day I'm going to build a well. I'm going to be able to buy the most expensive thing in this catalog and just give it away. And, throughout my life, I did the same thing my parents would. Again, people pleaser. So and I can't even say just people pleaser. I didn't adopt. I have 4, kids now that I adopt from World Vision is a program that I use. But I can't even say it was people pleasing. There's just something so satisfying like in my soul when it comes to giving anonymously. I've helped buy multiple people cars anonymously and never receive a thank you for it because they have no idea who I am. And giving has always been in my nature. It always has. It's my love language. I do it with my clients. I do it with my closest friends, and even people who aren't really close friends. I love to give. But the need to succeed, I think I let run stronger in my mind versus the need to give to this world in a philanthropic way. So that drive, that need to really initially feed my family because I'm the breadwinner, that need, but then the need for more. Like I look at, what am I making in my photography business right now? How can that be more? All those needs in, okay, now I've made this much money. I need to invest in real estate, which, is where I started a couple of years ago, started investing in real estate. That need to grow, that need to drive, push, be this successful, especially as a woman thing, outweighed my need to give. And you could talk about which one's more important. Everyone's going to have an idea of which one's more important. But for me personally, I want to leave this earth knowing that I didn't just feed myself, that I fed as many other people as I possibly could. So, I've had that $15,000 to go build a well, I don't know, 10, 100 times over. Like I could have probably built 100 wells by this point, but I never had. Probably 6 months ago now, I went with a photographer on one of their prepared excursions to photograph wildlife in Kenya. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go, because that's one of the things I do. I plan photo trips for people to go experience other countries. I'm like, let me just go because I need a break. I signed up, I paid this man, and I didn't even look at the itinerary. I just showed up. I'm like, I'm here with my camera. Tell me where to go. I don't want to think about anything. I make decisions for a living. I would like to just not do that right now. So I show up a couple days in, we're going to safari, we're seeing animals and lions and elephants and giraffes, all the things. And then it's optional one morning to go to a Kenyan village. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I guess I'll go. Like, that's fine. Some of the other people who had been previously were telling me, oh, yeah, don't go. It's like, not that it's stupid, but oh, it's like a tourist trap and they're just going to sell you things at the end. It's not like real. It's not how they live. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'm all the way over here in Kenya. Like, I'm going to go. So I go, I bring a camera. And I walk in and they're greeting us in song, which for the record is super embarrassing to me. Like I hate attention on me. I don't like, ironically, I'm a YouTuber. Like the camera's always on me. But like, if you want to see me red, like sing happy birthday to me in a restaurant, I will like as beat red as it possibly can get. I just will want to hide in a hole and die. So they're all singing to us as we're entering this village. We're walking towards them. Obviously, I don't understand a single word anyone is singing. And they just keep singing for a solid like 10 to 15 minutes. And like my embarrassment level is just like way up there. But it's really sweet. Women and children singing to us. We walk in. And, 10 to 15 minutes, you get to be a little observant, as much as you can stare at every person singing to you, like you start to look around. And there was this one calf, just been born, and he's wobbly legs, like walking around while everyone's singing. And I realized that the cow still had the umbilical cord attached. Like that's how young this little calf was, something I've never seen. But then as I'm looking down at the umbilical cord, I'm looking down this calf's wobbly legs into the dirt that it's walking on, which all the children are walking around, crawling around, playing in with bare feet. And then I realized that's not dirt. That's cow poop. The entire floor of the village is covered in cow poop because that's how they protect the cattle at night. They herd it into the village. It's circular. They close it off. The animals can't get them. So these children are just playing in poop all day, every day. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know how fake that can be. Like, I can see these kids' feet, like, and their hands looking covered in gross. And then again, as I continue that visual journey, like looking at the kids, their feet, their hands, I start looking at their faces. And the thing that got me the most, it was the flies. There are flies everywhere. Again, it's a ground of poop. But the flies were on them. And then we were invited to go greet them. And the way you greet them is like you put your hand on the head of the children and you say, Sude, I think is the word. And as I was that close to the kids and this particular mom who had a baby on her back, just like wrapped up. And again, we've seen all these pictures before. You've seen all these videos. I'm looking at the baby who was as cute as can be, but I'm looking at the fact that there was a fly right on her eyeball, not like on the outside of the eye, on her eyeball. And this baby wasn't even blinking, wasn't trying to swat it away, wasn't even disturbed whatsoever. And that's the moment I realized, like, there's no gift shop at the end of this. There's nothing fake about this, because these babies, children, are so desensitized to the flies all around them that they have to be living with them every single day versus the rest of us who are swatting them away. But while I'm realizing all this and like having that gut feeling, like you'd think I'd break down and cry like right there on the spot, especially since I'm looking at kids that are the exact same ages as my kids, 7, 10 years old. But they're so happy. They're so happy. One of the biggest things they don't have after, being there, experiencing all this, photographing them, one of the things that they don't have is access to clean water. In fact, it was one of the things like, oh, this must be fake. Where's the bathrooms? Well, hello, there are no bathrooms. It's the woods. It's the jungle. And I hope you don't get bitten by a snake while you have to go to the bathroom. And I actually took this photo once I found it of the one water jug. I mean, big, like 4 feet tall jug, and all the kids were kind of like hanging around it and sitting by it to like, that was the water supply. That's it. And it was not clean. And then I looked it up and it's like, whoa, I didn't realize it was like 1,000 kids under the age of 5 die every single day from unhealthy water and all the aspects. And then, I just like keep going back. Like awful thing like to be living in, but then like, how awful am I that I'm there with, I think I had $25,000 worth of camera gear with me, something along those lines. And I'm thinking in my head, $25,000, and I could have built this village a well for, about half that. Crap, what am I doing with my life? I'm over here like trying to figure out how to get more and more, and I'm succeeding at it. This business, add that business, do this new thing, work hard at it, feed my family, give my kids, all the things that I never had as a kid. But meanwhile, that one goal that I had when I was younger to buy the most expensive thing in that gift catalog, the well, like, why haven't I done that yet? So I fly home, and on the plane ride home, I write up what would eventually be the YouTube script for the video that I started a nonprofit on. So the first time I launched this, just to make sure I'm putting my money where my mouth is, I think it took me maybe 3 months to launch a website that was grabbing donations. And I'm in the process of, actually creating an official foundation. The fun part of all of it, I mean, I love the fact that, I'm getting donations. I actually have prints right next to me. So people are buying wildlife prints, and I'm donating 100% of the proceeds, which is pretty much every dime that people either donate or purchase one of these prints with, because Canon has given me this massive printer I have behind me. LexJet has helped me with the printer, the ink, the canvas. Hanamuli has given me paper. My printer literally just made a noise as I was saying that. It's like, just here, part of this moment. But I'm able to I'm matching the first $15,000 of donations, so that I am actually building a well in addition to using my influence to do that. But all this happened because of a visit that I thought was supposed to be something a little bit freeing, a little bit relaxing for me. And then here I go, getting convicted that I haven't done the thing that I wanted to do ever since I was little, because I was too busy being selfish and building businesses for myself in the guise of building them and supporting my family. But I have to say, I have to give myself a little pat on the back, because I could come home and I could let my businesses run, not totally on autopilot. I'm still there, but I could let them run, and they haven't lost any money while I went out and started a nonprofit. And I just wonder, like, was that the goal the whole time? Like, to be able to create businesses so that I can get into the work that I've always wanted to do. And now I get to. So right now I'm running, actually my first run, I have a stack of canvas prints right next to me. running my first run of all these prints, hand signing them, shipping them out to everybody. And then I'm getting ready to write a big fat check to build a well in Kenya. I think this project was the first time I ever did something sort of business related that made me happy and led with emotion. I don't know if it's an entrepreneur mindset or maybe because I was raised in a strict Christian household, this was just what I was taught. But in my mind, I'm not allowed to be happy. Like I don't know, my process when it comes to like the things I have to do in life, right? Like those are the things I have to do. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be happy with them. So I think leading with my heart and building something was a very new experience for me. As a person, I'm extremely logical. I'm actually extremely unemotional. My husband calls me the ice queen. And I am very just like one thing, next thing, got to do this. And it doesn't matter how I feel. I just have to do it. And I think that has served me really well in business, but I don't know how much that's served me in life, right? So, I mean, I have two kids. They have emotional needs. My husband has emotional needs, but me, I'm like, nope, we have to get to soccer practice. Nope, I have to start getting to work. I don't operate that way. I think I've trained myself to be that way and to not have emotional reactions to things. Or if I do have an emotional reaction, like it's my job to hold it down and it's my job to just keep pushing forward anyway. So having had such an emotional reaction in Kenya, I didn't push it down. And that might be because I was so detached there. I mean, cell phones didn't work. Yeah, we had Wi-Fi at the camp, but that was like, it was like dial-up practically. I'm watching a photo load one line at a time, if you remember those days. Maybe it was just because I was so detached from all the things I had to do that I gave myself the space to do the things that I've always wanted to do. So it's kind of ironic, right? Being like super logical. But what I didn't mention before is my primary and root form of photography was weddings, photographing weddings, which is like the height of emotion for everyone's life until, the moment they give birth, I guess. I am a logical person, but would have to be creative on demand in a way that would produce something that's super emotional. And I almost wonder if that was always like my outlet for emotions because I didn't let it happen in my business side of life, right? So I would capture everyone else's emotions instead of necessarily showing my own. But now having looked at that kind of reality, that kind of journey where, okay, I am logical, but I do have an emotional side, and now fulfilling that emotional side with the nonprofit that I started. I'm curious. I have photographed a couple weddings since, but I'm curious how that's going to end up affecting my business, right? Because to be successful, I think you do have to push past emotion. I think you do have to get up in the morning and not feel like doing anything but climbing back into bed and just get up and do it anyway. And working with emotional clients, like whether it's couples or corporate or even the YouTube trolls are emotional people that I have to deal with, right? I have to push past that and be the one that's calm and logical and handhold people through whatever it is that we have to get through. But I think because of having to do that and shut myself off to being emotional, there's something lost in the creativity there because it's very hard to be that kind of calm person in the midst of chaos and also be creative on demand at the same time and run a business which can't have emotion really come into your systems and processes and things that have to run whether you're sleeping or you're awake, right? So there's so many different facets there that I think going to Kenya and starting this nonprofit has just completely disrupted. And I'm at the point right now where I'm like, am I going to let it continue disrupting me? Am I going to let, every time I sit down and create systems and processes for printing these photos for people that have donated, like, do I let the emotion still push into that side of the business, or do I create this nonprofit and run it like every other one of my businesses, just one step after the other, completely emotionless? I do hope you join me in helping all of these kids and so many more get access to clean water. It helps so much more than just like having someone get a drink, which I think is what happens in our head. You have to understand, I actually have a friend of mine that thinks that one of the leading causes of Africa and the world in general having the lack of clean water access is actually something that pushes a lot of Africans down, not just for the lack of access, but because they have to travel so far and spend all day going to get water. I mean, think of what people can do if they had all day back because there was a clean water well in their village or nearby. It's huge. If you want more information on it, or if you just feel like getting some eye candy and looking at the photos, I mean, I think I'm a pretty good photographer. Been doing this for 28 years or so. Take a look at the wildlife and landscape photos, maybe decorate your home a little bit. Just go to my Instagram. My Instagram is Vanessa Joy, Vanessa Joy, and message me there, send me a DM with the exact words Prince for water, Prince, Prints for water. And then I will send you the link where you can, take a look at everything that I'm doing, this nonprofit where I'm giving away 100% of the proceeds, in addition to matching the first $15,000, which hopefully we're well past by the time you go look. I do have a graph on there so you can see what's happening and, be a part of something that I think is pretty special.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.